Day 3.
Episodes of Podcast Beyond and GameScoop to keep you caught up on what's happened so far.
Speaking of which, let's head over to Sam's Arcade for a special episode of GameScoop.
Gamescoop.
What's up, everybody? I'm Daemon Hatfield, and this is your Gamescom 2021 edition of GameScoop. Before we get to some new games, the Epic Game Store is also...
Hi, I'm Moritz Zimmermann. I'm 17 years old.
It's finally coming December 8th.
As promised.
Well, it's coming in 2021.
Yes,
It's under the wire,
as
right?
promised in December.
Yeah.
But at
Looks like we got the audio working now.
They're delaying the
Co-op campaign,
co-op.
yeah.
Well, yeah, so delayed campaign, co-op, delayed forge, and we still have not got an update on what the campaign looks like or is, right?
They said it was kind of an open world, seamless kind of affair.
Hopefully this is
That's why
working.
they
I'm
said
gonna
that
check
campaign co-op was
testing
delayed
1,
was
3.
because it was much more difficult to implement co-op because it was such more of an open-ended affair, right? So they needed more time to work on it. It's much less linear. So that's, I think, a very important clue as to what to expect.
Sure. I was just thinking about when it was sort of unveiled last year, there was some disappointment. And a lot of people looked at it, myself included, were like, that doesn't really look like a next-gen game to me. So they delayed the game, and then we came through.
Oh yeah. Right, we got Gamescom working. We got it working! Hopefully. Hopefully we got it working, guys.
Got a release date, but I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know if I should be excited for it yet. Tina, you reviewed Halo 5, right?
I did, yeah.
Halo. Halo 5.
Fan, so
Halo 5 is really good.
Demonstration of some of the gameplay that a lot of people admittedly didn't look next gen in the way that we're expecting because we've just entered into this new console generation. So it's top of mind for everybody. Like, how can we bring Halo to the next level? What is that going to look like? How is that going to play? But as that long-standing Halo fan,
Yeah, Halo's actually a really good game. It's actually really good. Halo's really good.
Stuff, but you know, to their own struggles, everybody's struggles this year. I think a lot of the delays that people are experiencing, or the development struggles, are both because of this new genre for Halo, but also just working in the pandemic. Like, everybody's been impacted by it, and I have to imagine some of that has to do, some of these delays and some of the pushes have to do with a little bit of the struggles of work from home.
Sure, of course. Sam, I know you're a big Halo fan. How are you feeling about Infinite?
Halo is really actually good.
Hyped by the trailer that was shown it was technically a multiplayer trailer that's kind of setting up the kind of world that the multiplayer is going to take place in. But what I really like about Halo is the universe. I love the universe building, and what this did was kind of show how long Spartans have been around, because there's like a little kid that grows up to become basically a Spartan trainer. It's really, really cool to think like, oh, there's generations of Spartans, and this game is about training a new generation of Spartans. That means we get new tech and everything. But I like that that's all fit into the history of Halo, and like it also makes me like really want to go back and be like, there's old school like kind of.
Yeah, the Halo is actually really good. Halo is really good.
And then we're gonna see the new ones, and like I nerd out over that stuff. Like some of the Spartans I show here, like that's what they look like in Halo. Combat Evolved, and it's just I love that it spans a history of the world.
Yeah. So December 8th, hopefully no more delays for Halo.
December the 8th is really, hopefully.
There was a delay for Horizon Forbidden West.
Not Horizon, yeah.
That's for a while now. There have been reports about that, but finally confirmed by PlayStation. It's coming now, February 18th, I want to say, 2022. That's my dad's birthday.
Happy
Happy birthday, Mr. Hatfield.
I think the last video game he probably played was Galaga. So I don't know if he's planning to play Horizon Forbidden West or not.
Well, it's no, they're very similar games.
They're very,
Right.
very similar. Yeah.
Be able to
Natural
just jump right in.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. Were you since this had been rumored to be coming for long, was the delay a surprise to anyone?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, maybe in this sort of setting as an announcement, because it was set up as like, here's an exciting announcement, which surely, release dates and the anticipation around that stuff, of course, that's always exciting.
Release dates and
I
all
was
that.
expecting that little bit of news coming in at ONL, but certainly expecting the delay just based on all the rumors that we've been reporting on too.
Sure.
It's a tough one for Sony because now that means that Death Stranding Director's Edition or Director's Cut is the only one that's going to be their big exclusive for the fall, whereas Microsoft is going to have Halo Infinite and Forza Horizon 5.
Exactly.
And Halo Infinite, I think that having the free-to-play multiplayer right there is going to be a great shout for people to be able to play because, like,
Multiplayer.
it's that Halo Infinite's multiplayer still stands tall after 20 years, and people are going to be into it. So they can just jump right in, and it's going to have healthy player counts and everything. So I think that it's a great 1-2 punch for the holiday season for Xbox.
Yeah, it will be.
It's a strange
Xbox will have
situation.
like a
Said,
lot of good
two
stuff.
big exclusives for Xbox and nothing for PlayStation. Now, in all fairness,
PlayStation.
doesn't
Not
typically.
nothing. There's good third-party games.
Oh no, you're right. You're right. Nothing in terms of a first party.
But out of that competitive console war thing, like I imagine the pressure was so on to get this game out this fall. So on a positive note, like having more time, doing it right, giving the developers a chance to finish their vision at
Yeah, I'd say the developers and all that have been having problems over the last couple of days. A lot of times.
This fall with robot elephants in it,
Yeah.
mastodons. Like that's a little disappointing. But
It's like
I can wait till Feb.
Cyberpunk should have been delayed. Again,
Exactly.
it just wasn't ready.
Yeah.
But people are like, get it out, we want to play it. And then it's like, everybody's like, look, it's broken. This game's broken, not ready to go.
Yeah, you can't have it both ways. And, I think ultimately there's a lot of implications wrapped up in these deals often too, or, specific calendar, release quarters that people want to get out into, revenue goals that they need to hit. So there's a lot to kind of consider when it comes to release dates, and that pressure is very real. But, I think ultimately at the end of the day, every gamer probably, speaking for myself at the very least, I'd much rather everybody take their time and do the due diligence to see their vision realized, as you guys were just saying.
Of course. And PlayStation doesn't typically, at least in recent years, the past generation, have a big holiday release. God of War, Last of Us Part 2, Horizon, Uncharted 4, they're all spring. Release.
Yeah, they do like to own that kind of window, right? And
Yeah.
games like Returnal, still very, very good, and should get a second win in the holiday season.
That's true.
I don't think there's any reason that people are going to be like less excited to buy PS5s this fall. So it's like if in order to sell PS5.
Hello guys, welcome. I was just sorting out all the tech side. So yeah, my name is Duncan, and we're bringing you Gamescom again. Yeah, it's the last day of this. Yesterday I got a bit bored of it because there was some problems. Hopefully we'll have the techno problems today sorted. But if we don't, we don't. If we do, we do. How is everyone today? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're joining. Hope you enjoy this. Hopefully we'll get a bunch of people joining. It's just slow. It's just started.
That's quite a track record.
So yeah.
It's just been a long time, I think, since Xbox had two big exclusives, and Sony didn't have something around the same time.
Yeah, that is weird. Sony and PlayStation. I will say that.
For sure. There is a PS5 patch out now for Horizon Zero Dawn, which I think makes a very good-looking game even better looking. I'm right now playing Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, and I was recently
I have
playing
not
the
heard of that
PS5
one.
update for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. They just released one for Assassin's Creed Odyssey, so my point is, it is like nice to revisit these games that are a few years old now. They're now getting PS5 updates, and some of them for Xbox Series X. Sam, I know you were a big fan of Horizon Zero Dawn. You finished it? Beat this one?
Yeah, I finished it. It always gets compared to Breath of the Wild. So like,
Breath of the Wild was good.
Situation where like I had a life-changing experience. With
Breath of the Wild was actually a good one. I will say that.
I got through it. But what I liked about Horizon that other games don't have is that it had these like kind of.
We'll see what comes out of this today. Hopefully, some good stuff. Hopefully not. But it's the last day of it, so let's hopefully that means. No. So yeah, This is DuncanYT. I don't know if you can hear me properly. Hopefully you can. I hope there won't be any technical problems. No, I don't want that.
Revisit Zero Dawn.
I don't think I need to. I think I can wait and get the good experience.
So we're getting like the pre-show kind of thing. This is like kind of the pre-show again. The pre-show just, you know, like they just talk about the stuff. They just tell you what's going on and all that.
Amazing. Yeah, it looked amazing.
So yeah. How is everyone today? I hope you're doing well. I'm okay. I'm a bit sad, but I'm gonna carry on because, you know, this is, I don't want this, you know, this only opportunity to, you know, do this, you know.
Released an actual packaged copy called Horizon Zero
So
Dawn.
yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. I'm okay, but a little bit down a bit today. So, but I'm gonna carry on. You know, let's bring you this. Let's bring you all this stuff. Let's bring you all this stuff. Yeah, we're live.
It's amazing. It came out 4 years ago, and it looks as good as almost anything on the PS5.
Yeah.
And that's started to be expected.
Yeah, we're live. This is DuncanYT, Duncan Twitch TV. We're live, and we're bringing you Gamescom. IGN's just talking some stuff at the moment because they've got like an hour two. I think it's like hour two. They've got like a slot, and then you got other ones with their own slots and all that. So you know, so yeah. Welcome everyone to the stream. Welcome everyone to the thing. Anyone that wants to join, you can join. Hopefully we'll get some people joining. Oh, we got one follow. Oh, thank you to the follower today. So yeah.
And now you can be like, yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn, just bump up the FPS and
so yeah, how is everyone today? I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're enjoying this last day of Gamescom. Gamescom's like the EU version of things. So yeah. Hope you enjoy it. Hopefully it's going to be a good day for you. Hopefully we'll get some other game announcements. I accidentally fall asleep to some of the announcements yesterday, so I seen some of the indie games. There was some good indie games once. There was also some other stuff. There's been a bunch of stuff over the last couple of days. So yeah, it's been up and down. So yeah, hopefully we'll be doing well. Hopefully stuff. Yeah.
We're getting GTA 5 in the holiday season, so we're pretty much getting caught up. Skyrim,
Yet again.
What's the status of Red Dead?
Yeah, I was going to mention that one. I don't think that one's got a next-gen patch.
They've mostly been GTA.
So yeah.
So that would be, I mean, that game is already
GTA 5, GTA 6.
I've ever had playing a game in my life, and I would absolutely go back to that on our next gen.
Yeah, for sure. I'm in the same boat as Tina. I didn't ever finish Horizon Zero Dawn the first time around, so I should probably go back and give it another chance, especially with this patch out. It's just, like I said, there's all these other games that have gotten patches I'm currently in progress of playing through. So.
Have you been able to look and see if you can grab your save and bring it over? I haven't seen.
For what?
For this.
Zero Dawn?
Yeah, grab the PS4 save and then play it.
Well, I mean, it's not a PS5 exclusive. So you should be able to.
Yeah.
Plus, it's been
just a patch.
4 years since I played it, so.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then
might just to catch myself back up, play from the start.
Yeah, that should be fine. I do like using a guide to get back into a game.
So yeah, how's everyone today? Hope you're doing. Alright, we'll take breaks.
Studio continues with even more coverage, trailers, and reveals around some of the biggest games on the horizon. Stay tuned.
Is this gonna do?
2018 Game Bonfire is a leading Chinese gaming outlet dedicated to bringing up-to-the-minute news to Chinese gamers all around the world. Let's find out how.
篝火营地是中国领先的游戏媒体，创立于2018年，致力于为全世界的中文游戏玩家提供专业、精准、迅速的资讯情报。篝火营地立足于中国，与多家
I have no idea what you're saying, but it's the Chinese version of YouTube. It sounds like, or the Chinese like IGN or something. It feels like. You know what this feels like? It's like the like.
数百万的读者和玩家。我们的愿景是做游戏文化传播者。您可以在全球各大手机应用市场下载篝火营地 APP， 或者访问3w.gamebonfire.com 来加入游戏传播者的行列。
Gamescom 2021 is presented by
USA Insurance.
He's gonna have any more ads or?
Everybody loves watching a speedrun of their favorite game.
Yeah,
What
they
if you
do,
had a chance to
actually.
peek into the mind of the developers behind those games as they watch their hard work completely destroyed right in front of them. That's exactly what happens on every episode of Devs React to Speedruns. We invite you to ride along with the developers as they watch, react, and enjoy some of the craziest gameplay by the most skilled speedrunners on the planet.
So they're on ad breaks at the moment. They're on ad breaks at the moment, so. Oh, hang on a minute. That's. Where's this mic? The mic's working. I don't know. Sounds are playing up. I'm not. Let me have a look. Can I change the sounds in lives? Yeah, I think I can. So yeah, let's just talk. My name is guys. My name is Duncan. How are you? We're doing Gamescom. I'm just waiting for them to finish the ads because I think I got into trouble yesterday for ads and all that. Yeah. So how is everyone today? I'm alright. I'm a bit sad though. So yeah. That is true. Let's grow. A forest? Oh, great. Yeah, so this is Gamescom. This is the last day. I hope the audio is working. Let me just double check. This gives me a chance to check audio. Oh, I think they're back. I think they're back. Are they back? Are they back? Are they back? I think they're back. Yeah, they are back.
Rebooted.
Right, they're back.
We
They're
know what's
back.
happening.
They're back. We're watching
nice long
Gamescom.
trailer,
Gamescom.
cinematic
We're checking this out. We are the
and then
official
just a brief little snippet
Gamescom
of gameplay,
hosting.
but it's a full reboot, new city,
yeah.
new team of saints. No, I don't
How
think there are any
is everyone
returning
today?
characters, but
So yeah.
it's Ryan McCaffrey got some
I did like
eyes
this
on
when
the
I
actual
seen
game,
this
so I think they're
the
dialing it
other
back a little
day.
bit to Saints Row the Third, which is a game I really, really liked. And we should expect open world, urban action adventure game. So definitely have something, a frame of reference to expect. But I guess my question is, who is excited?
Yeah, so we got a
anyone?
lot.
What do we think? Saints Row. It's just been a long time since there's been
Yeah.
a Saints Row game that I was
Yeah, so we got a
Anyone
lot.
be excited about this? It's just
That's
been
a
a
good
long
way of
time
putting it.
since
I'd
we've
like to
been
get
a
excited
Saints
about
Row
it
game.
too. I mean, obviously difficult to tell
We
because
got two.
this is like this.
We got two. Let me
over
just
the
put this
despite the
up.
fact that it's a reboot, getting a little bit more grounded. McCaffrey actually did say in his preview that it's still an over-the-top arcadey crime sandbox. So not, a complete removal of a lot of what the franchise has become. But yeah, difficult to see. While you can see some of that nature, some of the crazy over-the-top nature with all the, the cars spinning midair and crashing into things, and everybody still surviving somewhat magically. Difficult to see between that to see what it's actually going to look like or play as. And to your point about characters, Damon, since you mentioned it, McCaffrey did confirm that the characters that we're familiar with won't be there, but that there may be some Easter eggs. So.
Yeah, maybe the other Saints games.
Why have we got two audios going?
with Volition and Saints Row. It's been a kind of rough time. Agents of Mayhem was very, very bad, unfortunately.
Trying to fix
and
this.
then Volition underwent some layoffs and everything. There was a fair amount of turmoil. They got picked up by Deep Silver, and now they're here rebooting Saints Row. And so it's kind of like, I definitely see a opportunity for them because, I mean, as everybody loves
I think
to joke,
it's coming
the game
from
that we grew
YouTube.
up
How do
with,
I?
GTA
It's
5,
not that.
it's still here. It's not going away. We don't know when we're getting GTA 6. It might not be till 2024, right? So people are hungry for that kind of single-player solo
No, it's not
sandbox
that.
experience.
It's not that.
And
It's not
meanwhile,
that. It's not
Rockstar
that.
has shown every
Not
indication
that.
like, no,
Not that.
GTA Online, duh,
Not
makes
that.
so
It's
much
not
money.
that.
Yeah.
So Volition, if they do it
I'm gonna
right,
listen to it again.
depends on the execution. They
Not
can come in
that.
and definitely fill a gap that has been left. If they do it
I'm gonna listen
right,
Yeah, that's true. Rockstar's not in any
hope
hurry
we-
right now. at the very
why
least.
would they be? Come on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it
they
looks like
every
we have
reason not to
two
be.
audios going.
There have been a lot of open world games that I've played in recent years, but not in like an urban criminal setting, right? So it's stuff like Assassin's Creed and your Far Cries and
This gave me a little bit of Crackdown vibes too, like it's some kind of like super powered superhero. I mean, it's not superhero stuff, but it's like these big weapons.
Hopefully
that are kind of
this is
fantasy
working
spins.
now.
It's just it's interesting. Oh, we're
Is
already
it
on
working?
I don't know if this is our cue to talk about Far Cry.
Now we're back on it. I was going to point this out. The setting is all in a southwest region. So they show like this is outside.
Should be
they show
working now.
dinosaurs, which are outside of LA. They show kind of a Death Valley area, and they show like high desert. It's supposed to look like Arizona between like Las Vegas and Phoenix, kind of. And I think that means good potential for environments like Grand Canyon.
I immediately had two audios on it.
That's what excites me about an open world game is when you get out of the urban parts and like, I'm not a huge GTA fan, but I really like it when you're like out in the mountains and there's like, a mission about Bigfoot and stuff like that. Like those are my favorite parts of the GTA game. So I'm looking forward to that in exploration wise.
Yeah, Sam, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, GTA 5 was based in California, basically.
Yeah, GTA 5, that was actually really good. It'd be nice if we got GTA 6 announcement, but I don't see that happening.
For years, make GTA Fargo. Hello.
That is smart.
Big open Midwestern vibes with creepy cornfields and aliens.
Oh, I love it.
Now, GTA 5 started in snow and
GTA
very
5.
in the ice, so they can just expand on that.
Yeah.
Remember that Easter
They
egg?
set the formula. Yeah.
True.
One cool thing about the environment too is that McCaffrey alludes to this in his preview, but you
Yeah.
should be able to build like around your properties and then
Build, that's a good idea.
He made reference to the characters, and each of them seem to have like different specialties, different abilities. So I'm really interested in how that plays out, and if you can actually kind of invest more in one territory over another. It's kind of unclear right now, but it seems like there's good potential there for some extra world building that you have your own hand in.
I don't know. So like the first two Saints Row games have their fans, but they're much closer to GTA clones. And
Yeah,
then Saints Row the
GTA.
third, where the series really came into its own and felt like it was something unique and special. And GTA kind of bounces back and forth between seriousness and silliness. And Saints Row the third was just we're just gonna go all in on the silliness. And I really
GTA is like a really
and then
good
Saints Row
one.
4 was supposed to be an expansion of 3, but they tried to just build it out into its own thing, and it felt like a copy and paste thing. It was too similar, even though you had superpowers now. It was the exact same character creator, the exact same same map and everything, so it was a little bit too much. And then there was the Get Out of Hell expansion. They're trying to squeeze even more out of Saints Row the Third, and then they did the Agents of Mayhem expansion, which nobody was asking for. It was just kind of
Silent.
and, as Kat mentioned, didn't work at all. So I don't know. Now they're rebooting. It's like
The silent
maybe it'll work. I hope so. I
treatment.
don't know.
Should this be called Saints Row? Does it feel like
that's what
is
it's
there
called.
something that's connected?
If it's like
is
you're,
something connecting it besides the Easter eggs you mentioned? Like I don't know the series, so I'm just wondering.
Well, I mean,
watch
it's going to have similar features that were in the previous games, like the insurance fraud and everything like that.
Got it. Okay.
Like, key stuff is definitely coming back. It's just kind of rolling back the time so that they're not in space and there's a president of Earth and all that.
Yeah, I remember the president theme. Strange.
If it's a group of low-ranking criminals who are more like Robin Hood types, likable, lovable criminals who are a gang and they're working their way up the ranks of the criminal organizations in the city. That's kind of what Saints Row is.
Did you see John Wick was an influence?
In this one?
Yeah.
Eh,
they
there's some good stuff, some bad
Well,
stuff.
John Wick is an influence on a lot of
Just
games these days. There are a lot of John Wick likes out there. Okay, I see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. Up
yeah,
here, so
yeah.
let's talk about that.
Teen. Mutas.
mentioned many times.
T-Net
I'm
Mutas.
excited for this game. Kat, I think this one stood out to you as well.
In the year 1989, a very young Cat Bailey used to go to an arcade called Grand Slam near my house, and I discovered this wonderful
Enemies.
Ninja Turtles beat 'em up, and it was delightful. It still holds a special place in my heart. And this game definitely has its own vibe. It does not quite look like those old Konami beat 'em ups from days gone by. It has a little bit of that River City Girls vibe to it. And honestly, I'm into it. You can see a lot of different references to classic 1980s TMNT in here. But I love that they include April O'Neil. She kind of reminds me of Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim, especially when she is spinning with the microphone and everything. It's great. When I was very, very young, I always had to be April when we were playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So my time has come.
Yeah. Well, it fits the journalist track too.
No, exactly. Mic drop.
I love the look of this game. But Sam, sometimes you're a little bit. You're a little bit harsh on the brawlers.
Look, brawlers have always filled a special place. They're beautiful and boring. You know, like that's fine, especially in the late '80s. I had a very similar experience.
Yeah, like this game looks very like 80s, 60s.
Watching that game from start to finish and being like, oh my gosh, this is the prettiest, coolest thing on a screen I could possibly imagine. Honestly,
Maybe it's 60s. I don't know.
I'm excited about how this game looks. I just love seeing basically sprite animations simulated and pixel graphics. Like, oh, look at those monkeys! Like, I love them. They look so cool, and I really like the scene too. All the animals.
There's monkeys. Yeah, there's definitely monkeys.
I know, like walking through it once with 3 friends. Sure.
Yeah, that's what I was
That's all you do, though.
That's the purpose of brawlers, is that cooperative.
Give yourself infinite lives or crank down the difficulty, and you just want to experience.
Infinite pizzas.
Infinite pizzas.
Saturday night, get a pizza, have some drink.
Yeah, pizza.
Break out TMNT. You're having a good night.
Yeah, it's a good party game.
It is. Yeah.
For sure.
It'd be nice if there was a layer like Castle Crashers had with leveling.
Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, they're just talking about the game and all that. That's all this different game. There's a lot of game news coming out. So like IGN, they're doing about the game news. Oh, wait a minute, I mute myself. Did I mute myself? No, I didn't.
Next gen twist on a brawler, that would get me excited.
Infinite Pizza would be a really good name for a band. Just saying. I gotta mention Terror of Hemosaurus. I don't know if that's how.
Hemosaurus? What the hell is
The
this?
ultimate Damie game, and I wasn't even aware of it until just this game.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's a Rampage-like.
Which I didn't know if that was a genre.
Pixel art animation. I know we don't have time to talk about it, but I couldn't let this segment go by without mentioning it. It looks awesome. But they're okay. They're pulling it up, and I guess I'm gonna wrap us up out of this one. So. We have to take a very quick break, but coming up, we've got lots more games.
Okay, this is us now. We're gonna have to talk about ourselves now. Let's
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Gamescom 2021 is presented by USAA Insurance.
Well, when they're taking a break, because they got a lot of ad breaks, they got to do their ad breaks and stuff, so we're just going to wait here. So yeah, there's a lot of games. There's, so you know, we got news about Halo, we got news about loads of different games. Hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, if you're thing. I hope everyone's having a nice, lovely day. Hope everyone's doing well. Hopefully everyone's staying safe. Yeah, I'm just going to quickly check something. How is everyone today? I hope you're doing well. You know, I'm okay. Just nice to chat to some friends. Yeah, looks like all my friends have, I don't know, ditched me or something. They don't make it any time, half the time. So, yeah. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, ba-da-dum. Bum, ba-da-bum, bum. Hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. IGN has a lot of things. Yeah, I've got my Switch on just in case. I just want to see if something's going on. Do 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 do. Is this working? Okay, we are we're official co-stream. We are officially co-streaming. We're official co-streaming of Gamescom. So yeah, we are. Your official game code. So yeah, how's everyone today? I'm okay, a bit down, a bit thinking, but ow. These guys back? Oh, these guys are back. Okay, they're back.
Sam Claiborn and Kat Bailey. Remember, if you want to learn more about our sustainability project, Gamescom Forest, revel in some Gamescom memories, or catch up on anything you may have missed, head on over to now.gamescom.global or follow Gamescom on social media. Let's jump back into the gaming business, shall we? Another game that was making waves at Gamescom this year is DokeV, which I think is a Pokemon-like from...
Who knows?
It's a many games-like.
It's a free-to-play MMO by the developers of Black Desert Online.
Black Desert Online. Pearlibus. And it's, I think people are really, really impressed with the visuals here, which was also the case with Black Desert
Little
Online.
cutesy doll children.
Yeah.
Yeah, what to make of it.
Definitely. It definitely looks very impressive. If you're listening to this in podcast form, you should definitely check out the trailer. It's called DokeV. It's spelled DOKEV, pronounced
normal.
DokeV. Yeah, it's like got a very cool living sort of cartoon look to it.
Yeah. And technically it was already revealed. I think this is probably the first time a lot of people have been introduced to it at O&L. So it was a bit of an outlier in terms of a lot of the other, like, you know, big AAA titles, and then you get this cute thing. And I saw a lot of people reacting to it. Yeah. So it seems like it's really catching an audience really quickly. And, you know, we had a developer walk through around this game where they were speaking
That's a good game.
how they wanted to create an experience that would be kind of family friendly, but also evocative of reality in the sense of, like, you know, most games want to have realism. The quote in particular is they didn't want it to feel like a virtual world. They wanted it to feel like a reality. So not introducing those elements, but actually kind of trying to mimic it in almost a sim way, which, you know, it establishes that in some territories, and it feels like, you know, there's like a Monster Hunter vibe, a Pokemon vibe, even an Animal Crossing vibe. Like, there's just a lot going on here. So it does seem like this fully realized world. Like, you can customize the just environment and kind of decorate it. You can go jet skiing. You can kind of like hang glide with an umbrella for whatever reason. So maybe that's got a bit of a Breath of the Wild vibe to it too. Just a ton going on in this game.
Great vibe. I will say that based on the track record of Black Desert Online, I would be a little worried about grinding, because that was a game that was known for being pay for convenience, where you would be paying to be able to level yourself up and everything. Love the vibe, love the graphics. It's kind of like Big Hero 6 meets K-pop, which is pretty awesome. And it's enough to at least make me want to give it a shot. It's not generic. It's not kind of the generic fantasy that Black Desert Online was. Apologies to Black Desert Online fans, but yeah, no, we'll see how it turns out. But dang, like, it really, I can see why it really was making waves on social media, because especially the environments. Like, I love the vistas.
Yeah,
it's good environment and all.
Show like this huge valley with a sprawling town and mountains behind. Yeah, it's like that's
you're grappling.
Yeah, the game looks really cool, and it's impressive that Pearlibus can impress again.
Hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and you can join me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or you can just watch it and, you know,
the rest of the lineup.
Tiny cars.
Never come back.
Okay, another big announcement from Gamescom this year was Midnight Suns, the long-rumored
Midnight Suns. I don't know what this one is.
Marvel XCOM game from Firaxis. And this is a game, they're being a little cagey on what the actual gameplay is like, but, you know, we know it's going to be a tactical strategy game where you've got a roster of Marvel heroes like Wolverine, Ghost Rider, Iron Man is in there. I think it's like 12 characters total. And then you, the player character, are a completely new Marvel hero created just for this game called the Hunter, I believe, that you get to customize. And you'll be going out on missions, tactical missions. Obviously, I don't think anyone's expecting this to have permadeath, but, you know, XCOM-like tactical gameplay, and you come back to your base, where there's going to be some sort of like a relationship mechanic where you can choose which heroes you want to talk to and form relationships with. I don't think it's going to get particularly romantic. Very, very, very good friends, I think was the quote.
Best friends.
Yeah. Very, very
developers on
close.
this.
That was,
Yeah.
yeah.
So Kat, I think you had some thoughts on Midnight Suns.
I mean, I loved XCOM. I love XCOM and XCOM 2, and I think Firaxis is an incredible developer. The most recent XCOM was kind of like middle of the road, so we'll see. This is a very different vibe from your traditional XCOM game, because XCOM is basically like survival horror, right? You're playing all these soldiers, these terrifying aliens, you're like, what's going on? Here you're playing as superheroes. You're playing as Doctor Strange, you're playing as Iron Man. The Hunter themselves are super powered. They have light side powers and dark side powers. So it completely flips the
I
script.
wish I
You're
had a
super
time
powerful
machine
one.
and I
You're
can go back.
beating mobs of enemies. They're going to have kind of a similar structure to your typical XCOM game, but with the destructible environments and everything. But it's going to be very different and won't have permadeath.
My random
Can't throw out
moment.
Captain America forever. So it's going to be really interesting to see what the gameplay looks like when it finally gets fully revealed.
Yeah.
And they did specify, like, you know, it's a tactical RPG, so there's the, you know, the fact that you can get close to some of your other superpowered friends kind of impacts the gameplay. They didn't go into specifics of exactly what that would look like.
I love that it's basically like Persona. Okay, so you go back to your base, and you can be like, I'm gonna go hang out with Wolverine. We're gonna watch TV. Oh no, Wolverine doesn't want to watch TV. What does Wolverine want to do?
Curmudgeon.
And depending on that, it builds up the relationship. And if it gets to the maximum level, you unlock a new costume, which has super, like a final ability that will be battlefield changing. So I'm like, oh, so they're just going full on relationship mechanics.
Random
You're
moment.
not dating.
Yeah.
No love scenes.
Maybe in the sequel.
Sam, what's your read on this? You famously have said something along the lines of nothing is more fun in turn-based, or turn-based is never more fun than real-time action. Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I have never played an XCOM game except for the Mario
It's-
vs. Rabbids stuff. So
Oh yeah, Mario vs. Rabbids is a good one.
I don't like how the Marvel characters look in this game. I think they look.
Marvel characters are okay.
So used to MCU now that threw me off in Avengers also, and it needs to be a comic book style or just use the actors' likenesses. That's where I'm at this point. And then there's some additional layers to this where I think like Wolverine looks like.
Hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and also you can watch this live. This Gamescom live.
Toy figurines instead of the.
Yeah, it's okay. In my opinion, this Marvel game looks okay. We were talking about it in the opening event. Hopefully, we'll hear more today about other games if we can stay awake.
I love Marvel for all of its different art styles, so I don't want to yuck anybody's yum. This one does not do it.
If anything, they're really leaning into the comics because they have some deep cuts. They're bringing back Blade. Oh, I know it's getting a movie and everything, but they got Robbie Reyes as Ghost Rider, who drives a car, like a muscle car and everything. And also, Doctor Strange kind of looks like their comic book form. And then, like, Midnight Suns itself is a storyline from, like, 1992.
I was going to ask about that.
Supernatural characters. And they're like, so why Midnight Suns? And they're like, Jake Solomon's like, I really liked that story when I was growing up. And Marvel gave us carte blanche to do whatever we wanted, and I did. And I'm like, they're really leaning into the comic book vibe. That's okay.
But also slightly making it kind of their own universe too.
Yeah.
Like they took some creative liberties, as far as I understand.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's actually, the title has changed. The game is Suns, S-U-N-S, and the comic story was Suns, S-O-N-S. So they made that change.
Maybe they just made a mistake in the
Ship it, it's fine.
Is it too late to change it? Okay, midnight.
If you make that mistake in motion graphics, you got to just go with it. Is Ghost Rider maybe at the center of a bunch of this? Because like everybody's head is on fire.
Yes. In the original comic story, multiple Ghost Riders were at the center of it because the main villain is Lilith, and one of Lilith's minions is a main Ghost Rider villain. Okay. So, I did read the summary of Midnight Suns before this show.
Nicely job.
We also did get an update on Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker.
Oh yeah, Lego Star Wars.
Date, even though that game has been delayed.
Yeah, that Lego Star Wars one looked really, really good. Looked really good.
Now we're spring 2022.
It's made the
Spring
circuit, several
2022.
E3s and Gamescoms for years now. But now we have a window, spring 2022.
Lego Star Wars actually looks good.
People love
It looks
Lego.
very good.
Lego Star Wars in particular. I love Lego Force Awakens. Interesting to see how they'll be handling 9 movies in one game.
Yeah, well, 9 levels. That makes sense.
I mean, sure, yeah.
Very low.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
I love how the scalability of the look of minifigs is like not that great. So like every Lego is gonna look like a Lego, but like the backgrounds and the
characters look
environments and everything, that was so
OP.
cool. when they look.
There's
now
like
at
loads of
next
Lego
gen,
characters that I don't
Right,
think they've
yeah,
even
the
done.
juxtaposition of like the amazing vistas and backgrounds, and then these like cute little blocky Lego characters. It fits so well.
I was there when it came out on the PS2 long ago, and it saved the prequels in my mind. And the reason it saved the prequels was because they were miming them out and didn't take it too seriously. And it was hilarious, and it had so many weird characters.
Oh, there's some funny things like with Chewbacca and see that. We've seen that with Chewbacca and all that. That was so funny.
I usually did, and it was great. And I wish they didn't bring the voices. Why do they have to have voices? Just have them mime out the stories, because you're not going to make Rise of Skywalker better with voices. Come on.
Well, we'll see if it can work its same magic on the sequel trilogy. All right, it is time for one more very quick break.
All right, here comes the breaks again.
I promise you so much that we're going to be right back after this. Just trust me.
God,
We'll be
the
right back.
breaks.
There's more Gamescom after this.
Great breaks.
Crows is an upcoming.
Well, we're waiting for them to finish. How's everyone doing? How are you all today? Hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Yeah, this is the last day of Gamescom. I've been about 50-50 on Gamescom, but I will say is, I just think that, what was annoying was that the English, like, on the same stream they had the English and the German. They should have done 2 different channels, because it's been annoying that, you know, the English one has been later than the German. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing well, and I hope you're enjoying it. This is DuncanYT and DuncanTwitch TV. Yeah. Minecraft. Yeah, they're talking about a green thingy again, and just taking the ad breaks where I can talk. You know, hit that subscribe button. I've been taking a couple days off doing YouTube stuff. I've been in a low mode. Hopefully I'll get some new content coming soon. Honest. Sorry, I need to use my... Come on, why did they have to choose IGN? Like, honestly. Who comes up with the idea of having IGN as the, thing? Yeah, it's still going through. Yeah, check me out. DuncanYT, DuncanTwitch TV. We're official stream, and you can check me out on YouTube and Twitch. Yeah, how's everyone today? Hope you're doing well. And this is the last day. Thank you for Gamescom for letting me be official co-stream. I don't know how long we were allowed to co-stream, but they didn't say so. Alright, these guys are back, so let's just switch it again.
It's popped up. So
let's have a
see
look
what we
at
can look forward
release
to playing
calendar.
over the next year or so. The next one that's coming up is WarioWare Get It Together on September 10th, and that was a game that was just released.
Mario,
I feel
Mario, and that's actually good.
Since then. But like, you like what the WarioWare?
I'm obsessed with Wario.
Wario.
Play every WarioWare, and I think it's a very exciting thing to have happen. That's coming in September, which means that and Metroid are basically the things I'm going to play on Switch from Nintendo this fall. I'm not really into Pokemon, so
yeah,
see what happens.
They're just about a month apart.
Wario.
Also in September, we got Deathloop. Which,
Deathloop? I don't know what that is.
On IGN right now, also from Ryan McCaffrey.
Yeah,
Guys,
he's
very,
been a
very busy man. And he has positive impressions of the game so far, so I hope that turns out well. I really like arcane games.
Super anticipating this one.
Yeah.
It's so clever. Arcane is really, really good. Love the vibe. Going back with the 60s Hitchcock look with these games. Not something you see every day in games. Can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm like, there's so much to look forward to the rest of the year, and then of course 2022 and a few.
There's a lot of good games. There's a bunch of good games coming out for the winter season and for next year and all that.
Exclusive Kena Bridge of Spirits on September 21st.
I'm into it.
Which I'm always reminded that it's one of the PlayStation exclusives coming up. I haven't done the research to actually know much about the game.
Could be one of the breakout hits this fall.
Think so?
Yeah, because I mean it's gorgeous.
Very, very pretty. Yeah.
Aww,
it's
so
PlayStation exclusive,
cute.
if I recall correctly. So I kind of retract my little bit about like, well, they only got Death Stranding. Well, if this ends up being as good as it looks, this could be a really surprise hit.
I hope it's good. But speaking of Death Stranding, that's on September 24th. Sam, you gonna play it again?
I would like to play what they add, so if my save holds and I can like hop in there and mess with the jetpacks and the new cars and that kind of stuff, that'd be good. But I do want to play those new missions because they look like Metal Gear inspired missions, and I'm really into that.
Yeah, they're interesting. I only played a few hours of that release, so I should probably give it another chance. On PS5, Lost Judgment is out the same day though, and I really liked Yakuza Like a Dragon. So I don't know. Kat, I know you're a big fan of just Yakuza in general.
I actually prefer the turn-based vibe, and I like being with the gangsters and everything. Judgment.
I don't get this game, to be honest. I don't.
And I like that they're really expanding the formula. But Damon, you're forgetting the game of the year that's coming out in September.
What's the game of the year? Oh yeah, Tears of
I don't even know what that is.
It's a gorgeous JRPG. It's the first time since like 2016 that we've seen a new Tales of game, and I mean, everything kind of has a little bit of that Genshin Impact, Breath of the Wild vibe. This one does too. So actually, in all seriousness, keep an eye on it. It looks really good. Yeah.
Cool. Getting into October, Far Cry 6 is coming out.
Oh, Far Cry 6 is coming out in October. That's actually good.
There's like not a lot to talk about that one. There's another story trailer released for it over Gamescom, and it's just like that game was supposed to be out in February, and we kind of know what Far Cry is, so I think you're either on board or not at this point. Also, but the day after that is Metroid Dread, the aforementioned Metroid Dread, which
maybe we'll play that on a Switch with a better screen too, which would be kind of fun.
I have it on pre-order.
You got a pre-order?
Oh yeah, the new Switch is coming out.
Such a mark. It's like prettier screen, want OLED, but in all seriousness, Metroid Dread looks pretty good, and I think that it's the end of a saga. We'll see, like, what is the final fate of the Metroids? I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
And catch up.
And then Back 4 Blood is also in October 12th. Tina, I know you've been excited for this one.
Very much so. And, Mitchell previewed it for us fairly recently and came away feeling really positive about it because, we had this moment where there was going to be a Left 4 Dead-like with Evolve, and it didn't quite take off. I enjoyed playing it at the time, but it didn't have the kind of community to...
There's a couple good games. What else we got? Oh yeah, Fortnite new season coming September. Rocket League's coming... I think it's October.
22nd. I'm not going to play that.
I'm going to play the hell out of that game.
Okay, I'm glad. I hope.
Biggest question mark of the year, though, because Battlefield 5 was not very well received by fans, so this is kind of can this be a bounce back for the series?
Now it's Battlefield's turn to not have a campaign, I guess. Call of Duty has experimented with that in the past.
Campaigns are overrated in these kinds of shooters. Come on.
I guess so. Mario Party Superstar is October.
Mario Party. Oh yes, we're gonna check this out. We're gonna have to check this out. We're gonna have to check this Mario game out.
This one looks like it might change that, so we'll see.
Yeah. We're going to burn through these. We're running out of time. There's more games to talk about than I thought. Forza Horizon 5, Xbox exclusives on November 9th. Going back a couple of days, Call of Duty Vanguard is November 5th. That one does have a campaign this time. Actually,
nope,
kind of cool.
I will not be trying to code.
Anniversary edition is November 11th. Grand Theft Auto with fishing added. Grand Theft Auto 5 for PS5 and Series X is out the same day, November 11th. Dying Light 2 is December 7th. I think some people are excited for that one, apparently. Halo Infinite, of course, is December 8th. Then getting into
December 8th.
Elden Ring, highly anticipated. Elden Ring is finally coming.
Halo, I definitely want to try that, but I don't have an Xbox.
Seeing a little bit of that here. In
Game Pass,
January,
hopefully.
Early 22 is just stacks. Pokemon Legends, is it Arceus? Arceus is how it's pronounced.
Or Arceus, nobody knows. It's back and forth.
Just let's punctuate the end of the year and go into, like, you're already starting into 2022. 2022, these first 3 months look amazing.
I know,
Yeah.
it's insane. February is really the month.
Yeah.
That's when Horizon Forbidden West is, February 18th. 25th is Saints Row, the reboot. March is going to be Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Oh yeah, that Marvel's gonna be
And you
March.
got Stalker 2 on April 28th, and I think Kat has a hot take.
I do have a hot take. I think it's going to be the biggest game of 2022 outside of like Starfield. It's going to be Witcher big. It's just everything is falling into place. It is gorgeous. It's a shooter. It has a really good, interesting vibe. We've seen in the past these series that have cult hits, fan bases on PC, moving over to console, becoming like a day and date console kind of situation, right?
Yeah.
We saw that with Witcher. I think this is going to be it for Stalker.
All right, we shall see. And then, of course, Starfield, late 2022, November 11th. And that about does it for this very special Gamescom edition of GameScoop. One quick note before we go. Scoop Nation, I have to let you know this is it for me. I'm going to be going on paternity leave practically right after we tape this. My wife and I are expecting our second child any day now, and what you're seeing on the screen here is an enactment of what could have happened this week. At any moment, I might have gotten the call and had to rush off set. So I want to definitely.
Oh my God.
That's what happens when it's go time. Definitely want to thank Baby Hatfield #2 for waiting and letting me finish up all my Gamescom taping. Can't wait to meet you though. So I'm going to be out for most of September, but fear not. I leave you in the very capable hands of Tina, who will be hosting GameScoop while I'm away. So everybody, have a great,
GameScoop is really good.
September, play some really fun games. We'll have lots to talk about when I come back.
Yeah.
So remember, you can catch anything you missed over at now.gamescom.global, or even help the community quest for real-life prizes and keep gaming from being plunged back into the dark ages at now.gamescom.global/epics with an X. And if you want to stay on top of what's
Something's going wrong.
Also, be sure to check out new episodes of GameScoop every week on IGN, YouTube, and your favorite
That's something's
podcast
going wrong.
platforms. All right, we've got more Gamescom Studio in the not-too-distant future ahead. Grab a snack and a drink, get comfy, because there's lots of fun and surprises waiting for you right after this. Stick around.
Something's.
The free Call of Duty Vanguard Alpha is live now on PlayStation and continues throughout the weekend. Don't miss your opportunity to check out.
We're back in a minute. We're going to take a quick ad break.
The Gamescom Awards for 2021. Here are the nominees for Best RPG. Elden Ring from Bandai Namco. Encased from Koch Media. Tales of Arise from Bandai Namco. The winner for Best RPG is Elden Ring from Bandai Namco. Featuring a completely new world and mythology created by Game of Thrones novelist George R.R. Martin, Elden Ring looks to elevate From Software's signature blend of action-adventure and RPG elements to bring gamers a whole new experience. A trip into dark fantasy filled with discovery and, of course, plenty of death around every corner. After all, this is still a Hidetaki Miyazaki game. It's no surprise this much-anticipated Souls-like found its way to the winner's circle in the Best RPG category. To accept the award, here's more from the team behind Elden Ring.
Elden Ring.
Hello everyone, I'm Antoine Jamet, Head of Marketing at Bandai Namco Entertainment. On behalf of everyone at Bandai Namco and our friends at From Software, I want to thank all the fans and all the media around the world for this great award of the Best RPG for Elden Ring. As you know, Elden Ring is our most ambitious project so far, and we can't wait to show you more. So I hope to meet all of you soon in the lands between. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to Gamescom Studio right here on IGN Live. Once again, I am Daemon Hatfield, and joining me right now are Stella Chung and Michael Swaim, who will be helping me reveal a pile of brand new trailers and introduce some of the developers.
Wasn't he just a minute ago?
Games.
And you know, helping Daemon out is great, but there's someone else we're even more excited about helping. The trees. That's right, Gamescom.
Oh yeah, the
Forest is
trees
Gamescom's
thing.
ongoing effort to make this little blue planet just a little bit greener.
No, I'm gonna get a drink.
Something
Back in a
I
minute.
think we can all agree is in our best interest. You know, unless you're a Captain Planet villain. You can find out more at now.gamescom.global. The power is yours!
And even if you are a Captain Planet villain, I'm looking at you, Verminous Scum and Dr. Blight. There's plenty of other stuff that's sure to interest you. Gamescom Now is your one-stop shop for all Gamescom content. Speaking of Gamescom content, Stella, what's coming up?
Well, Damon, once we stop bombarding our extremely patient audience with information, we can start showing some of our trailers, and later on, we've got a live episode of Beyond, IGN's PlayStation show. And to cap it all off, we've got the Gamescom wrap-up. That's the part of the show where we completely wrap Michael Swaim up with toilet paper to make him look like a mummy.
Excuse me, point of order, that is an enormous waste of paper and therefore a direct affront to my dear friends, the trees. And probably our friend Kim Horcher, who's right over there.
Well, it looks like we need to find something more sustainable to wrap Michael Swaim in. While we're doing that, why not check out some new trailers?
Loss, hatred, grief. This place reeks of them. There's something here. It awoke on that day when she came to it.
What the hell are you, Neva?
Place and time, searching for ties that may yet bind, and so I step beyond the night to find my light. Lost within a dream, I go into a world unseen, ready to leave my fears behind. One last time.
You're too late, girl.
I'm on his road back home. Home somewhere across the shore.
This cancer has spread far enough. Time to
Okay.
get it out.
PlayStation 5 only then. Or not. Maybe it's PlayStation 5 and Xbox. Okay, what the hell is this? Another September game.
Nasty surprise. My lord?
What was that?
Hiding in plain sight.
Careful now. Huh? My blade is sharp. You stay down. Nothing personal.
Taking aim.
Why is there shooting?
No challenge. The story is still being written. So many tricks. Stick and stab. Elegant landing. I have a question.
Yes?
We do this for Mugen.
Confused.
An elegant death.
None shall remain standing.
Okay.
Just the mercenary I wanted to talk to. Your steel dragons did pretty good on that last case. I won't lie though, this next one, it's personal.
Thank you everyone for joining. This is Gamescom.
You just saw new trailers for the Medium, Hypercharge Unboxed, Severed Steel, Shadow Tactics Blades of the Shogun, Aiko's Choice, and Project Haven. We still have tons more trailers still to come, all part of Gamescom Studio.
Gamescom.
Stick around, we'll be right back.
Gamescom 2021 is presented by Pluto TV, free to watch.
Yeah. Why are they talking about bloody IGN?
Breaking news and exclusives never before seen. Games, reviews, let's plays, and live streams. IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are.
We are the official. Gamescom's back.
Behind the esports headlines.
World champions!
From the triumphs
Daryl takes the game
to the hardships
It's not heavy.
to the miracle moments that will go down in history.
I just can't believe it!
It's crazy. It's all here on IGN Compete.
God, I'm in disbelief!
In a world with non-stop news about Marvel.
Well, it looks like these guys are still talking about IGN. That I guess these guys have been paid a bunch of money.
One is presented by SAA Insurance. It's been another big year for gaming, and Gamescom is proud to present the Gamescom Awards for 2021. Here are the nominees for Best Action Adventure Game.
Best action game. Let's
Elden
see.
Ring from Bandai Namco. Mario plus Rabbids, Sparks of Hope.
Mario's Rabbit. Let's hope that gets one. That'd be good.
Siberia, The World Before from Astragon Entertainment. And the winner for Best Action Adventure Game
Drum
is
roll.
Elden Ring from Bandai Namco.
Okay.
Renowned game developer Hidetaki Miyazaki is back with his latest tough-as-nails Soulsborne game. Elden Ring has inspired some of the wildest hype gaming scene in a while, with a massive fan base rallying around it before we even had details. Now we know the game takes place in the realm of the Lands Between, brought to life through a collaborative effort with acclaimed novelist George R.R. Martin. From what we've seen, players are in for quite the treat when Elden Ring finally coalesces in 2022. To accept the award, here's more from the team behind Elden Ring.
Hello everyone, I'm Bertrand, the European producer on Elden Ring, and on behalf of all the people involved at Bandai Namco Entertainment Europe and other friends over at From Software, we are delighted and thankful for this Best Action Adventure Award. We're working hard currently and looking forward to seeing you wandering the enchanted world of Elden Ring. There will be so much to discover and explore. So hang on, soon to be tarnished, and see you in the Lands Between. Thank you.
And we're back. Have you ever wanted to quit your stressful big city day job and go deliver mail in your peaceful and scenic hometown? Well, this
Maybe,
next game
yeah.
might be up your alley. Then again, if you work as a mail carrier in the small town where you grew up, this might not be your speed. Either way, here's Lake.
Hi, I'm Dylan from Gamious. I'm the game director for Lake, and today I'd like to take you on a ride along with Meredith during one of her workdays. Every morning starts with local DJ Jack Reynolds.
Good morning, P.O. P.O. positive or pet P? Will it be a P or a double P? Walter
Okay.
Every now and then I spend some time in Providence Oaks, and I'm always happy to see this beautiful and orderly village and its well-mannered inhabitants.
Did someone just call me well-mannered? Oh, I'll take it. Let's see if the weather will behave today. A bit of sun to start the day, but mostly overcast heading into the evening. Back to the music.
That's Walter Morgan on the phone. He's one of the characters you'll meet as you play. He might sound nicer on the radio than he really is. Let's take a look at the map to see where we're heading. Not all destinations need a mail delivery. This spot has been pinpointed because your colleague Frank told you that Robert Harris wanted to talk to you. Robert Harris is a lumberjack and lives and works in the forest. You've met him before, and he told you that he's opposing plans to build apartments in this area.
This is close to where I had my first kiss.
That's one of her musings. They're triggered when Meredith visits various places around Providence Oaks and help you learn a little more about her background.
Ooh.
But back to Robert and his apartments. By meeting him earlier, you've already found out that he's not particularly fond of dealing with bureaucracy. And while he's not the type of guy to ask for help, the game does present you dialogue options in which Meredith offers to help him out. This works the same for lots of other situations in Lake. If you're not interested in spending time with other people, you don't have to. Let's see what my choices will be here.
Hey, Meredith, I'm up here.
Hey, Robert! Wow, that's really high.
What? I can't hear you.
Maybe you should come down.
Sorry, I can't hear you. Maybe I should come down first.
Yeah,
You
duh.
may or may not have deliberately objectified a lumberjack here.
Can you hear me now? Hi, Meredith.
Loud and clear. Over.
Thanks for coming out here. This arborist job came up suddenly.
Awesome. I'd love to try that sometime.
It's great up there. I used to climb a lot. Still do, actually. But now I get paid for it, too. Anyways, I figured it would also be good for you to see where the apartments are planned.
Oh, here? Really? What a shame.
Fear not. I have masterminded a wild card plan.
Tell me all about it.
I've scheduled a recording session at a professional sound studio.
Right, and then?
Well, we'll start jamming. Some music producer accidentally drives by, offers us a contract on the spot. Next stop, rich and famous.
I have a feeling you're not being serious right now.
Yeah, you got me there. It'll actually be a radio message to get the people in Providence Oaks involved. This afternoon at Jack Reynolds' barn.
A professional sound studio, huh? Okay, I'm in.
Great. Meet me there after work. I gotta get back up in this tree now. See you later.
Bye. Be careful up there.
Thanks.
Well, there you have it. This is what I chose to say to Robert. And it means that I'll be part of a recording session later that day with Robert and Jack to get the people of Providence Oaks involved in preventing the construction of apartments. The workday ends when Meredith has delivered all her mail. You'll meet quite a few people while doing this and can get caught up in little storylines like the one with Robert. Lake is never earth-shatteringly dramatic, and that's just how we intended it to be. Lake offers a relaxing slice of life story that puts you in the driver's seat. After being a mail carrier for 2 weeks, you will get to choose what Meredith will do next. Will she stay in Providence Oaks, or will she go back to her old life? It's all up to you, and we can't wait to find out what you choose. Thanks for riding along
So it
with
looks
me.
like a
We
post-
can't wait to welcome you to Providence Oaks this September 1st on Xbox, Steam, and the Epic Game Store.
If Lake looks too relaxing, down to earth, and slice of life, our next game is a bit more adventurous, airborne, and slice of monsters. Check it out.
Hi guys, my name is Anna, and I'm a co-producer and lead game designer of The Path of Calidra. This game is created in co-production between Warsaw Game Studios based in Poland and Brazilian Final Boss game developers. We'll show you just a small piece of the game in the following video, but mind you, this is purely focused on combat mechanics. If you want to check it out yourself, it is readily available on the Steam platform. In the Path of Calidra, the player character wields a vast array of powers based on 4 classic elements: water, fire, air, and earth. This demo shows 2 earth element powers, Gyrus Fists and Gyrus Sword. The combat is based on a combo system that lets you combine attacks to achieve different effects.
Attacks, you like you can. On guard, attack.
With giant puppet hands, slice them with an awesome
Giant
laser
puppet
sword,
hands?
duh, or summon the school of stalagmites to pierce your foes. However, you don't need to use all those flashy effects to win the scrap. You can always rely on basic combat moves and still be satisfied with the results. We wanted our combat to follow the philosophy of easy to learn, but hard to master. We're showing you right now a level that we made just to demonstrate how our combat works. It combines pieces of 2 out of the 5 elemental worlds that you will see in the final game. Matthias is the protagonist of the game, who embarks on the journey throughout the magical kingdom of Kalisgor, along with the mysterious being called Calidra. They will brave the lush tropical jungles and dive into the depths of the ocean full of remains of ancient civilization. They will explore vast aerial temples and uncover the secrets hidden in the brazen city of fire. Finally, they'll venture into the labyrinth and the strange paths of Aether. As you can see, the enemies are marked by the symbols of corresponding elements hovering over their heads. In the game, the player will have to learn to use different powers against different elemental enemies. All of the elemental affinities get their resistances and abilities connected to the other elements. In the following video, you can see how our heroes will deal with 3 different enemies, mostly aligned with the element of Earth.
I had a random moment, but that doesn't mean...
The enemy known as Jelly Bunny is the only one in this demo that can be seen in all of its 4 elemental variants. Take heed of the differences between the type of damage they inflict on Matthias and how they react to his attacks. There will be 15 unique enemies within the game. Some of them can be found in different elemental variants, while the others will be communicating with each other to work together against the player. This will create a wide variety of combat situations, constantly keeping the players on their toes. Thank you for watching this video. You can join our social network on the Discord channel to follow the development of the game. You can also test the game for free or wishlist it on Steam. Your feedback will help us immensely to make
Looks
the Path of
okay.
Calidra one of the most memorable adventures of your life.
Okay, we need to take a short break, but coming up next, we've got a close look at Lemnis Gate and a bunch more trailers right after that. Gamescom Studio will be right back.
Gamescom 2021 is presented by Pluto TV, free to watch.
Not only is IGN the world's biggest media brand for games and entertainment, but we also have a team of some of the world's biggest fans of your favorite franchises. From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, Let's Plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered. IGN, the #1 source for all games and entertainment fans worldwide.
Everybody loves watching a speedrun of their favorite game, but what if you got a chance to peek into the mind of the developers behind those games as they watch their hard work get completely destroyed right in front of them?
What is happening right now?
That's exactly what happens on every episode of Devs React to Speedruns. We invite you to ride along with the developers as they watch, react, and enjoy some of the craziest gameplay by the most skilled speedrunners on the planet. Tune in every Saturday for a brand new episode.
In a world with non-stop news about Marvel, DC, Star Wars, you need a show with accurate reporting, hard-hitting commentary, and
me, Akeem Lawanson, host of IGN's news show, The Fix Entertainment. Whether it's the latest superhero scoop, film fiasco, or anime announcement, I'll be here covering all the breaking movie, TV, and streaming news that matters most to you. Make sure to catch The Fix Entertainment on IGN for your fix of entertainment news. Let's drop it.
Gamescom 2021 is presented by USAA Insurance.
Hi, my name is Ralf Reichert. I am founder and co-CEO of ESL. My favorite Gamescom memory is 2014, when for the first time we had a full hall full of esports.
It's game on time here at ESL 1 for the grand final of Battlefield 4.
Until then, we were guests at Gamescom, then we were an integral part and could show the world of gaming the power of esports.
Welcome back to Gamescom Studio. Before we get to more new games, the Epic Games Store is also celebrating Gamescom 2021 with a dedicated hub for tons of the games we're featuring. At the hub, you'll be able to wishlist your favorite titles to receive regular updates from Epic. You can find it all at epicgames.com/store/events/Gamescom, or just follow the in-store messaging. Now, some video games are built on proven formulas, while others throw caution to the wind and get wildly experimental. But sometimes you get the best of both worlds. A game that combines several familiar game mechanics to create something totally new. Our next game is definitely the latter. Here is the turn-based tactical strategy multiplayer first-person shooter with a 4D time loop known as Lemnis Gate. Check it out.
Hello,
My name's Corey Kasperski, and I'm a 3D artist at Ratloop Games Canada, and I'm working on the title Lemnis Gate. Lemnis Gate is a turn-based combat strategy first-person shooter with a unique twist. Lemnis Gate takes easy-to-pick-up first-person shooter mechanics and merges it with elements of classic arena gameplay and a unique time loop mechanic, where each round takes place in the same 25 seconds, and players will take turns adding operatives into the time loop to affect the outcome of a round. Today we're super excited to show you a first look at one of our new maps and some exciting new gameplay.
Prior studies suggested that Caldera was once covered by one big ocean. Upon arrival, Lemnis explorers only found its bottom. The planet's unbearable temperatures and now water scarcity only serve as extra defenses for the base's allocated resistors.
So now that you've seen the map Caldera, let's jump into a match that's already underway and is in the later stages of the round. Caldera is a seek and destroy map where players will take turns either defending or attacking 2 points on the map. Each round in Lemnis Gate takes place in the same 25-second time loop. All of your actions on each of your turns are recorded and played back throughout the entire round. There are a variety of operatives to choose from. Each of them have their own unique abilities and skills. Striker, for example, can take advantage of long sight lines on Caldera to pick off opponents from across the map. Carl, who has a unique shielding ability, can use that to shield the objectives and protect them from damage. In Caldera, there are lots of unique opportunities and defensive points for players to use operatives such as Deathblow or Vendetta to set up turrets and mines at defensive choke points and prevent their opponents from capturing the objectives. So in between each turn, players will be given control of the reconnaissance drone to take stock of the battlefield and analyze their opponent's moves, as well as take a look at what their operatives have done in previous rounds as well. In Lemnis Gate, death is not the end. It's extremely important for you to continue to play even if your operative dies during your round. If that happens, your player will become a ghost, but it's very possible for you to bring that operative back to life in a future round by saving them on another turn. Those actions will become real again and active in the timeline and can play a very important role in leading you to victory. We're very excited that Lemnis Gate will be launching on September 28th on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. You can pre-order now for 20% off and get the exclusive Metal Mantis operative and weapon skin for Carl. Lemnis Gate will also be available on Game Pass for Xbox and PC on day one.
Whether you're a fan of cyberpunk action, survival horror, or medieval horse crimes, you'll probably find something to enjoy in one of these trailers. And if none of these do anything for you, stick around, there's still tons more Gamescom Studio yet to come.
Rated M for mature.
Rustler is a wild, top-down medieval adventure experience releasing on August 31st. Developer Jutsu Games have created a unique experience that pays homage to classic sandbox games and in some respects is a parody on the genre. Rustler is set in a historically inaccurate medieval world filled with beatboxing bards, graffiti-tagged walls, and no horse parking zones. In Rustler, you'll play as Guy, a peasant whose parents were apparently too lazy to give him a proper name. While he may still live with his mom, make no mistake, if you need a job done with the least amount of questions asked, he's your man, or Guy. During the main quest, you'll experience feudal injustices, inquisitions, witch hunting, and maybe even dig up some dragon bones? Guy's ultimate goal, however, is to gain entry into the grand tournament to win half the kingdom and the princess's hand. Due to his peasant roots, Guy will have to get quite creative to scheme his way in the tournament. To make that a reality, you'll have to form weird alliances, double-cross your enemies, and equip yourself with crazy disguises. And we can't forget about Guy's best friend, who has the most appropriate name ever, Buddy. He's a lifelong friend and the brains of the operations. Keep in mind you can always count on him. After all, he's your buddy. In Rustler, players can tackle the story at their own pace and ensue chaos upon the kingdom at their leisure. When left to his own devices, Guy can wreak havoc with halberds, swords, crossbows, and even things like tossing turds or holy hand grenades. There's tons of mayhem to cause in Rustler. Guy can terrorize townfolk with his reckless riding, fight in medieval cage matches, and of course, steal horses. Just to name a few more, you can also compete in various horse races around the kingdom, offer your riding skills as a medieval taxi service, and even pimp out your horse to elude knights in pursuit. Through the use of bards, music plays a strong role in Rustler. Hiring bards allows Guy to enjoy a variety of sweet tunes that can only be described as medieval hip-hop. Songs will dynamically change on the fly depending on what trouble Guy is getting himself into. Or they can be manually switched, acting truly as your own personal medieval radio. We're extremely excited for players to saddle up and enjoy the medieval madness that is Rustler when it releases August 31st. We thank everyone for tuning in, and if you'd like to support Rustler further, the game is available now for pre-order at select retailers.
What the fu- No! Get the hell out of here!
Lindsay, come in.
The island is deserted. I haven't met anyone yet. But there are traces of human presence, and, you know, it's beautiful here. Gathering supplies and even hunting with flash photography. Can you believe it? But, damn, I don't trust this place. Ready now. I'll get us out of here. Over and out.
Fun fact, the time difference between when the Stegosaurus lived and when the T-Rex lived is greater than the time difference between when the T-Rex lived and right now. Even more fun fact, the time difference between right now and a bunch more new game trailers is nowhere near as long as that. Lots more Gamescom studios still to come after this.
Crows is an upcoming open world shooter targeting a PC release. Let's take a look at the Crows gameplay trailer. Gamescom 2021 is presented by Pluto TV, free to watch.
Not only is IGN the world's biggest media brand for games and entertainment, but we also have a team of some of the world's biggest fans of your favorite franchises. From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, Let's Plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered. IGN, the #1 source for all games and entertainment fans worldwide.
In a world with non-stop news about Marvel, DC, Star Wars, you need a show with accurate reporting, hard-hitting commentary, and
Me, Akeem Lawanson, host of IGN's news show, The Fix Entertainment. Whether it's the latest superhero scoop, film fiasco, or anime announcement, I'll be here covering all the breaking movie, TV, and streaming news that matters most to you. Make sure to catch The Fix Entertainment on IGN for your fix of entertainment news. Let's drop it.
If you're not following IGN on social media, what are you waiting for? We're constantly updating our feeds to bring you the latest news, gameplay, custom original content, the best user-generated videos and art, memes, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation throughout the year. Follow IGN on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Snapchat.
What's up, everyone? Sydney here to bring you a little update about the future of IGN on YouTube. We've been listening to your feedback, and it seems like some of you are more into games, while others are more interested in movies and TV. So we got to thinking about it and decided, why not both? Our main channel will still bring you all the biggest news, reviews, previews, and trailers to keep you up to speed on the most important highlights. But if you only want games content 24/7, head over to IGN Games. Movies and TV more your thing? Check out IGN Movies and TV. More channels, more of the stuff you love, more IGN.
Gamescom 2021 is presented by USAA Insurance. It's been another big year for gaming, and Gamescom is proud to present the Gamescom Awards for 2021. Here are the nominees for Best Action Game. Far Cry 6 from Ubisoft. Halo Infinite from Microsoft. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Extraction from Ubisoft. And the winner for Best Action Game is Far Cry 6 from Ubisoft. Described as the largest Far Cry playground to date, Far Cry 6 is shaping up to be the most impressive and ambitious entry in the franchise's storied history. Players will use homemade weapons across a varied landscape and even employ animal sidekicks to take down the tyrannical dictator Anton Castillo, portrayed by the actor Giancarlo Esposito. With a stellar cast and tons of new ways to cause mayhem, Far Cry 6 promises to have a narrative just as engaging as its gameplay. To accept the award, here's more from the team behind Far Cry 6.
Hi everyone, I'm Omar, Game Content Director on Far Cry 6. On behalf of our teams around the world, really, thank you for awarding Far Cry 6 the best action game at Gamescom. It's a huge honor, and it's also very humbling considering all the amazing games out there. It speaks to the fantastic work our teams have done, and it's an honor to accept it on their behalf. It's the first time we're lead on the Far Cry game at Ubisoft Toronto, and we felt like we had quite a lot to live up to. And it's really exciting to see the reception so far, and we really can't wait for you all to play the game very soon, and maybe get to know if Diego and Vas are actually related, or maybe not. Anyway, see you October 7. Thanks, everyone.
And welcome back to Gamescom Studio. We just gave out the Gamescom Award for Best in Action. And up next, we've got another hot and heavy roundup of amazing previews for new games that look like they might be gunning for the title next year. So get psyched or prepare to be psyched involuntarily by these awesome trailers.
That was a tough fight. I hope the next one will be more useful.
Welcome to Arborea, Chosen One. Father Tree will create new Jotun warriors. As many as is needed to find and wipe this curse out of our world.
Yes! Let's jump right into it. Healing roots will help us to rebuild structures in our village. How can I help you die today?
Rainy weather, bigger crops. Have you sniffed this one?
These bongos sure are strong, huh?
Fight horrific creatures of underworld. Collect the divine ray. Heal your venerable roots and find unholy heart of madness.
Oops. Getting a bit dizzy. First time, it'll be fun. Trust me.
Peggy 18.
Игорь, просыпайся, Соня. Смотри, смотри, вон там. Я беру тебя, Игоря Хименюка, в законные мужья. И обещаю любить тебя, чтить и уважать. Быть тебе верной и не отрекаться от тебя, пока смерть не разлучит нас. Игорь, ну что за дела? Ну ты так и не проснулся. Подъем. Очни.
Таня, прекращай эти шутки.
We just got a look at new trailers for Ghost Runner, Arborea, and Chernobylite. 3 games from the Polish publisher All In, which seems to be living up to its name. Coming up next, we've got a very special live episode of Beyond, IGN's PlayStation show, and be sure to stick around after that for more new trailers, demos, and developer showcases. Gamescom Studio will continue right after this.
From the legendary studio that changed strategy and tactics games forever comes Marvel's Midnight Suns, a new tactical RPG set in the darker side of the Marvel Universe where you'll get to team up with and live among Marvel legends as the Hunter, an all-new original hero brought back to life to fight demons from the underworld. Let's take a look at the trailer.
First, they conquered humanity's greatest evil, and she lay in rest. Then they vanquished threats from beyond our stars, and she lay in rest.
If you'd be so kind.
Gamescom 2021 is presented by Pluto TV, free to watch.
Everybody loves watching a speedrun of their favorite game, but what if you got a chance to peek into the mind of the developers behind those games as they watch their hard work get completely destroyed right in front of them?
What is happening right now?
That's exactly what happens on every episode of Devs React to Speedruns. We invite you to ride along with the developers as they watch, react, and enjoy some of the craziest gameplay by the most skilled speedrunners on the planet. Tune in every Saturday for a brand new episode.
From the creators of Plan Turismo, League of Legends, and Pinecraft. Released in 2020, Expansion Pack 2021, launch soon. Gamescom Forest. Not a game, but a game-changing project. Thousands of trees were donated by the best community in the world because we need oxygen even more than a good Wi-Fi signal. Save a bee, plant a tree. Let's grow. The Gamescom Forest.
From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, Let's Plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered.
One is presented by USAA Insurance.
Hello and welcome to a very special Gamescom studio episode of Podcast Beyond, IGN's weekly PlayStation show. I'm your host, Brian Altano. With me today is Max Scoville, Jonathan Dornbush, and Lucy O'Brien. I didn't know which version of you guys were going to pop up and in which order, but I'm glad you're all here. Beyond, friends, hello. Welcome to Gamescom.
Beyond.
This was not exactly like a big PlayStation show, right? Like this wasn't, we didn't really get like big PlayStation showcase or like a E3 shaped press conference or really anything specifically from them, but we did get some great news and some sort of like PlayStation adjacent stories and stuff like that. So that's very cool. So let's break down some of the biggest things that happened. First of all, obviously Horizon got some updates. We got a brand new release date for the upcoming Horizon game and a new patch for Horizon Zero Dawn, which just hit PS5 just sort of quietly during the middle of the show, which is a nice surprise. Sony's rollout has been a little perplexing, but let's get into that. Jonathan, tell us about the Horizon Forbidden West release date. We know it's February 18th, 2022 on PS4 and PS5. How do you feel about this?
I mean, I think it totally makes sense. You know, this is, we're a few weeks out from those reports where we were going to get, where we learned that there was supposedly a delay for Horizon, and Sony never commented at that point. My guess is because they wanted to actually put a specific release date to it, and they weren't just, you know, wanting to put out a message of like, we're moving to 2022. They wanted to move specifically to a specific date. So I think February looks great. It's, you know, it's the time of year when the original Horizon launched. So I think it's going to be probably a pretty good time to launch a Horizon sequel.
Yeah. Lucy, what are your thoughts here? You're excited for this game, right?
Oh, definitely. I mean, in terms of the release date delay, I think the messaging of it was really well handled. Like, it was presented as something that was quite celebratory, as opposed to, we're really sorry, but we've delayed this game. You know, the reports were obviously quite watertight. And the messaging was, we needed to give our team some work-life balance. Like, the pandemic is real. The pandemic has been a background thing during the making of this game. And overall, I thought the messaging was really healthy and celebratory, and I'd like to see more of that when it comes to delays, rather than, oh, this is such a bummer and we're really sorry. There's nothing to apologize for. This is the right move.
I totally agree. I actually really appreciate the sort of like video messaging rather than just like the rectangular JPEG on Twitter. I feel like Cyberpunk did that for so long that it just became like a meme at this point, that if you delay a game using an image on social media, it just doesn't have the same heart as, you know, getting some figureheads from the studio to be like, we're hard at work. We're really proud of it, but things are difficult right now. So we're going to take our sweet time. We'll see you in a few months.
No, the JPEG is like texting to say you're going to be late, but like really just kind of phoning it in.
Yeah.
No, I'm sort of like, as much as I would love to sort of get my hands on a big, huge open world game this fall, I'm kind of okay with, you know, with the February, you know, release. I mean, the first one came out, what was it? It was like a March release, I think. And it was
February 2017, actually.
Was it February? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So like they've got, you know, pretty good luck with that window there. And I don't know. I think we're sort of accustomed to huge games coming out in the fall, and frequently there's almost like you're almost overwhelmed by that. But I feel like we're more and more sort of seeing this, you know, games kind of stake out their own little, you know, corners of the year when they come out. So this is, you know, that's cool. And I mean, also like to Lucy's point, like that's a very healthy reason to push a game and to be like, hey, and also like I appreciate them not giving the ambiguous like, hey everybody, we're sad to say the game isn't ready yet. We'll have more news soon. Just be like, hey, here's a release date. And, you know, it's still totally possible it gets pushed again. That sort of thing does happen. But, you know, I don't know. It's we have a date. That's cool. We get to go swimming.
Now, in 2017, Horizon Zero Dawn did launch in February, and just a few weeks later, Breath of the Wild came out. And I know people get upset when you sort of like conjoin these games in your brain, but that's really just what happened at that period in time. And we still have that sort of floating nebulous idea that Breath of the Wild 2 will happen at some point. Do you all think that these games will just be forever, you know, sort of doppelgangers of each other? Like, will Breath of the Wild 2 come out very close to this and, you know, compete for time again? I remember, I believe the original Horizon sold around 10 million units, and Breath of the Wild has sold around 22, 23 so far. So, you know, both were wildly successful, but I feel like one sort of dominated the conversation for a while there.
I mean, we also got that funny thing where their DLCs were like announced right alongside each other as well. There was just sort of this repeated pattern. I mean, obviously I know we're not Nintendo voice chat, but you can always, of course, check Brian out there. I feel like personally, there's no way Breath of the Wild 2 comes out that early next year. I don't like, if that game even hits before the fall, I'd be shocked. So I don't expect them to go head to head. I do think it would be hilarious if timing worked out that way, but at this point, I'm not quite expecting it. And the beginning of 2022 is already pretty packed with like big games, so Breath of the Wild can kind of go whenever it's ready, and I'm sure they'll be fine.
And we did.
I agree. Like one thing that I just want to just quickly mention is that I always really dislike those comparisons. As someone who reviewed the original Horizon Zero Dawn and also adored Breath of the Wild. I got really frustrated when people were like, well, it's basically the same game because you've got a bow and arrow. And it's like, well, no. It's, you know, it's...
What fell on your head? That's what...
they're really, really different games. And I you know, I was also... I don't blame people for jumping ship from Horizon to Breath of the Wild at the time, because Breath of the Wild, as you know, as you said, Altano did dominate the conversation. But I agree with Dorno. Breath of the Wild 2 is not going to come out February next year. It's just not going to happen. If it does, I'll be really bummed. Like, I get that it's like going to be ironic, fun, sort of, you know, it's hilarious. But it's also like, no, I felt really bad that the original Horizon had to sort of contend with that.
Well, I read a rumor on GameFAQs that said that Horizon actually Breath of the Wild copied all of Horizon in the 2-week window between those two games came out.
Yeah, they actually saved a file of Horizon as just .switch and exported that to the carts, and that's how it works. Yeah,
they're the exact same games. Yeah.
The funny, weird sort of full circle thing is that a lot of people have drawn the comparison to, you know, Genshin Impact making a few taking some hints from Breath of the Wild, sort of stylistically and mechanically. And then they went ahead and put Aloy in Genshin Impact. So it's sort of like, what's going on here, you know?
Yeah, I do appreciate that. That is a sort of funny, you know, little anecdote right there. Now, I always forget that this game takes place in San Francisco, and it's funny to see like a dilapidated diner in the background. So when we started this year, or especially I think when we pre-ordered our PS5s last year, going back to the olden times now, and we got our PS5s in the mail, we were some of those lucky few people that were able to secure a pre-order. I know so many of you are still fighting for those out there. There was this idea that 2021 was going to be Horizon and God of War. Those were the big tentpole games, big PlayStation first-party exclusives happening this year. Now, obviously, we did get some other stuff. We got Ratchet and a few other things here and there, but those games have now 100% officially slipped into 2022, meaning that PlayStation doesn't really have any big first-party games this fall. Obviously, there's Death Stranding, Director's Cut, which we'll talk about in a second. But how do you all feel about that? Do you think does it matter? Are we worried? Are we worried about the big billionaire company not having any exclusives this fall?
I'm shaking in my boots, Brian, let me tell you. I mean, no, this is something we talked this week about on Next Gen Console Watch. Sony pretty historically doesn't put games out in the fall. They, like, other than the PS5's launch last year and, Spider-Man in September, Death Stranding notwithstanding, they typically, for most of the beginning of the console's life cycle, left the fall to the third parties for the PS4 and put out their biggest games like Uncharted, like The Last of Us Part 2, like Ghost, like so many others in the first half of the year. So it kind of just feels par for the course. And like you said, we got Ratchet, we got Returnal, we're going to get a bunch of third parties, this fall. So I think we'll be okay. I think the multi-billion-dollar company will survive.
Max, how do you feel about that? You're busy, right? You have a lot of stuff to play this fall. You're going to be okay.
Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, I think in this case, like, you think about how many people are still hankering to get their hands on a PS5. I feel like Sony's more likely going to put out a bundle. Like we heard about that sort of newer, slightly lighter version of the PS5 that's sort of hitting some territories, and it wouldn't surprise me if we saw like, oh, it's the Spider-Man bundle that because that's a hugely popular game, and like why worry on trying to ship a brand new game for this system that no one can get their hands on when you could focus more on getting that system in more people's hands.
Right.
And of course, they're also, I don't know, there's a lot of these games are coming to PS4 and PS5. So yeah, I think it's going to be, it's funny to think of Death Stranding as being like their big holiday release, because that's such a bizarre, obtuse game that is, it's hard to imagine somebody just opening that up on Christmas morning and being like, oh boy, the sad mailman game. Okay, I'll check it out.
Well, and we've got Deathloop, the Xbox now published.
It's
a weird year.
PlayStation exclusive. But
strange timeline. We did get, and I mentioned it briefly earlier, we did get a quick update on Horizon Zero Dawn, which is available now. It's been available for years, as we talked about, but it got some big sort of technical upgrades on PS5. Lucy, you reviewed that game. Do you have any plans to jump back in there and sort of refresh yourself before February and the sequel comes out?
Definitely. I feel like a broken record at this point because I've said this so many times, but when I first played Horizon Zero Dawn, it was the best looking game I'd played on the PlayStation 4 to date.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm so excited to see what this, 4K 60 frames per second update is going to look like on the PS5. I just think it's such a beautiful world. I think there's so much sort of grandiousness. That's not a word. Grandiosity. What other made up word can I say? There's so much
grandiosity.
Grandiosity. It's such a big, beautiful world, and those machines are just so intimidating and ridiculous, and I'm just really excited to jump back in. I think I'm actually going to do a full playthrough. I mean, I know there's a lot, like we've got a lot of piles of shame right now, but like I am very keen to jump back into that game now that it's got this, this quality of life upgrade. I'm very excited.
No, I'm with you. I feel like the pandemic's been all about like going back to comfort food games for me. So I'm very down to play that one again. But we do have to take a very quick break. But coming up in just a bit, we're going to break down some of the biggest indie and third-party games coming to PlayStation in lieu of all those, AAA first-party exclusives. So do not go anywhere, because we'll be back with more Podcast Beyond at Gamescom Studio Live right after this.
Gamescom 2021 is presented by Pluto TV, free to watch.
From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, Let's Plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered.
In a world with non-stop news about Marvel, DC, Star Wars, you need a show with accurate reporting, hard-hitting commentary, and
me, Akeem Lawanson, host of IGN's news show, The Fix Entertainment. Whether it's the latest superhero scoop, film fiasco, or anime announcement, I'll be here covering all the breaking movie, TV, and streaming news that matters most to you. Make sure to catch The Fix Entertainment on IGN for your fix of entertainment news. Let's drop it.
Right in the thick of Gamescom right now. Actually, I don't like saying that expression at all. I'm never going to say it again. I'm never going to say that's a very bad expression, and I'm done saying it. Anyway, Gamescom is happening right now, and lots of really cool new games are coming to PlayStation. So let's talk about them, starting with Jet the Far Shore, which comes out in October. The game looks rad. And Jonathan, you've actually played it already. Tell us about this game.
So I've played probably, I want to say maybe 4 or so hours of it. I've played a good chunk on a PC preview build, but it is coming to both PS4 and PS5. This is the latest game from Super Brothers, who are the creators of the beloved Sword and Sorcery, but they haven't really made another game since then. They've been pretty quiet, but I didn't really know what to expect going into this game. It was revealed back at the June PS5 showcase last year. As one of like the big indies coming to PS5, and it got delayed a little bit and whatnot, and now we know this October release, and we've seen some gameplay since then. But I still didn't have a sense of what you'd actually be doing in the game, and after playing, this is one of those games where it is both hard to explain, and also I don't want to stop explaining it because it's so cool and interesting and weird. It's one of those games that I really, really hope people check out and don't sleep on, because it's so singular to me in a certain way. So essentially the setup is you are this space explorer who is part of this expedition that is going out in search of this thing known as the Him Wave. And the Him Wave is a thing that this society that you're a part of has been spending generations trying to build toward finding. Essentially, like they believe it's their salvation. It's sort of like a mix of religion and science sort of belief system going on here. And finally, you are one of the people who will be going out into space to find the Him Wave. And so you're set out on this journey, and primarily there are some like first person interactive scenes where you're like talking to other characters, getting to learn a little bit about the world. But primarily you're playing in a jet, which is a jet just with 2 T's. And it's a game where you're essentially researching this world, surfing around the surface of it, jumping from like skimming the ocean to skimming the land, using some of the alien flora and fauna to like, oh, this sort of seed I've discovered happens to be explosive if hurled, so I'm going to throw it to open up a pathway over here. Or, oh, if I lead these animals over here, they cause vapor to emit, and the vapor helps keep my engines running more smoothly because the vapor on the world helps like keep the pressure down. It sounds all weird and disparate, but it is like the best thing I can say about the game is that it imbued the sense of like wonder and awe in me. Like it's trying to capture the excitement and the trepidation and fear of space travel, and it pulls it off. It's really cool.
I'm getting like it's the way you're describing it. There's like sort of notes of No Man's Sky a little bit. I hate to just sort of like, you know, pigeonhole this, but it also feels sad. Like there's a sort of like inherent sadness to this game.
No, there is. It's both sad and exciting, and that's sort of the thing is like space
Together
is
at
lonely.
last.
You know, like space is sort of a lonely experience, and yes, you're going on with this group, but the way this world is sort of like desolate that you're exploring, and you're essentially invading this world. You don't belong there, but you believe you're on this mission. Your team believes they have to be here, and they're compelled to come here. And so there is like, the thing that I love about this game is the moods it's evoking in me as I'm playing. It is that joy and that wonder of like controlling the ship is like controlling a skate or Tony Hawk based skate ship. Like it nails that sort of like movement and speed, and you can do little hops and dodge rolls and like hitting those different little vapor points to keep going at the like top speed that you want to, and then pulling like a sharp curve up a mountainside is this incredible cool feeling. But also you're like, oh, I need to go sort of explore. You see in some of the footage what that strange obelisk sort of pyramid thing is in the background. So there's a little bit of journey there. I'm with you. Like I kept trying to pigeonhole it into like, oh, it's sort of No Man's Sky meets the Outer Wilds meets Journey or meets X, Y, and Z. But it's really like singular in kind of how it meshes all those things together. And it does have like a structure to it. You are sort of going like mission by mission. You're given, in one mission, explore this outcropping and learn as much about the different animals and the different plants as you can, and kind of get a sense of what you can actually do on this world. Another is, oh, let's go to that interesting obelisk sort of thing. Like there are actual missions. You're not just set out onto the world left to do anything like No Man's Sky. There is structure to it. But
Dorno, I'm getting some real like Ridley Scott Alien, but not just the Alien like sort of series, but specifically his vision for Alien, which is Alien and then Prometheus and Covenant as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got like a very kind of 70s spaceship interior design vibe.
Yes.
Then, with the obelisks and all the strange, objects that are imbued with huge amounts of meaning and history. It feels very much like his kind of prequel ideas. Like aesthetically, it's very much reminding me of that series.
And it's all of that in one rather than like piecemealed out over decades.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really smart about how it doles all that out. And yeah, like the things that I love about it are the things that are almost like indescribable on an emotional level. Like it was. This sounds very cliched, and I know it's extremely hyperbolic, but just getting to pilot the jet for the first time, like when you're set out, was one of those like, oh, this is why I play video games sort of moments. Like it was one of those, oh, this is just such a wonderful, unique, fun experience, and I am controlling the ship, and I'm not doing anything too crazy, but there was just something like serene and zen about it. But like, as you said, there's this creeping undertone of sadness and worry and mystery, because it is like, this is what a civilization has been building for generations to get to. And now you're part of it. And it's like, is it living up to their expectations? What is, not sitting right with them? What is sitting right? There's like beautiful, incredible sort of like grandiose elements of like some of the animals you encounter and things. It's so cool. And I don't want to say too many specifics because I genuinely don't want to spoil this experience, but it feels like one of those things where I remember Outer Wilds coming out and people were like, I can't tell you anything about it, but I loved it and you need to go play it. This feels like one of those things, and it's not like a time loop game where you're sort of thing, but it's a really special experience from what I played.
And your spaceship isn't made of wood. You're not chasing banjo music. That sounds great.
Yeah, it's a little bit of it's the soundtrack is by Scientific, who does a lot of great video game scores, including the Oxenfree score, which I adore. So it's a really moody, really resonant sort of sound that I think again captures those moods. This game is so much about the moods it evokes and letting you piece together what you care about in the story with your own emotions. Like it's genuinely been moving for me.
So you mentioned there being missions. I'm curious, like sort of structurally, does it feel like unexplored territory and you just kind of can pick a direction and go? Are you sort of in, or is there like a waypoint? is it open world? I guess I'm just sort of curious about sort of how you go from point to point. And
no, totally. So the way, at least the bit of the game I was playing, was that it kind of happened over a couple days on the planet. Like in some of the gameplay, you can see us kind of dropping into the atmosphere. That is like the first mission out on this planet, and you spend a day exploring because you were essentially the lead explorers. Like you were the first ones kind of put out there to go explore and find a good place for everyone else to land who's still up in a space station. So you're charting the territory, and the game leads you along to places. So it's like there is a pretty wide expanse of ocean that you can kind of just be surfing around and explore, but you're eventually sort of led to go to like, oh, but there is an island over here that might be a good habitat for us to go explore. We should go over there. And there's a waypoint on your map that leads you there. Like there are constraints, but it never felt constraining, if that makes sense.
I'm guessing you can't just land anywhere and get out and walk around. There's like certain sort of hubs that you can...
Exactly, yeah. Right, okay. And eventually, like, without spoiling it again, but it is something we're allowed to talk about, like you can see it in some of the footage. There is a mission control base that you eventually, plonk down on the planet, and that's sort of where you go out from to do your missions going forward, sort of thing.
Cool. Yeah, I imagine you're going to have a full written preview for this game, right?
Yeah, we have a written and video preview up, so people can go check that out if they want to see a little bit more. It's as story spoiler free as possible because, again, it's a thing that I think you want to witness that for yourself the first time around. But yeah. Well,
that is Jet the Far Shore. Comes out in October, so you don't have to wait too long. We also got a new look at Sifu, which is coming February 22nd, which is now 4 days after Horizon Forbidden West, which is kind of crazy that we went from being like, where are the PlayStation games, and now we have these two games are coming out back to back. Very, very different, obviously. Who's excited for this? Because I know I am.
Me.
Yeah.
Hey, remember Sleeping Dogs? Remember that horrifically underrated Sleeping Dogs? One of the best open world games where you could beat the crap out of somebody with like a fish. Besides the Yakuza game, like I'm so stoked on this. And when they were like, yeah, I mean, I feel like some of the early stuff we saw made it look a little more sort of cinematic camera angle wise. And in this case, they were like, it's kind of like Arkham combat. And I'm like, you know what? It's been a minute since we had that. I'm super down with the sort of Kung Fu setting. I love how stylized this is minimally, and like doing that stuff where you're like flipping a dude into a shelf full of pottery or watermelons or whatever. Super into it. And also like, it seems like there's that kind of, roguelike element to it where you die and then you come back and you're older, which is sort of how I feel playing games that are hard.
I love the art direction of this game, especially some of the lighting, some of the more sort of like neon magenta areas, especially, but just like all the character models look super clean. You've got some splashes of blood here and there and some incredible lighting, but all in all, I really appreciate just how cinematic this game looks. And I know that's a very overused descriptor, but I dig it. Like, I feel like we don't get enough games like this anymore. This is, I've been replaying River City Ransom, like the original one.
Hell yeah.
And this feels like, in the same way the Yakuza games do that, this feels evocative of the beat 'em ups from that era, but obviously a lot more stylized, which I'm totally all about.
This is like detailed in the right places.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of it that's very minimalist, but then there's clearly parts that are, there's a lot of, focus on it. And I think it's, what was their last game?
Absolver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like that was obviously very kind of, low poly. And I think this is like, it feels like a step up in that area, but there's a little more to look at. There's a lot more kind of visual density. And I think they found a really good sweet spot aesthetically.
Well, if you like characters that do some butt kicking, we are going to take a very quick break. But when we come back, we are talking about new games in the Marvel, Saints Row, Ninja Turtles, and Lego Star Wars universes. I feel like all those universes are going to be one universe someday. Thanks, Disney. I cannot wait for all those things. But in the meantime, don't go anywhere because we will be right back with more Podcast Beyond at Gamescom Studio Live right after this.
If you're a passionate gamer and a football fan, then this next trailer is for you. Let's take a quick look at what UFL, the new Global Online Football League, is all about.
Hello folks, my name is Eugene, I'm the CEO at Strikers Inc. Our studio has been founded to change the world of football simulation games forever. I'd like to introduce you to UFL, a global online football league that will be available for free on all major console platforms. The key to success in UFL is your skill on and off the pitch. That's what we call fair to play gaming. Can't wait to share more, so stay tuned and have a fantastic Gamescom experience.
Gamescom 2021 is presented by Pluto TV, free to watch.
From the creators of Plan Turismo, League of Legends, and Pinecraft. Released in 2020, Expansion Pack 2021, launch soon. Gamescom Forest. Not a game, but a game-changing project. Thousands of trees were donated by the best community in the world because we need oxygen even more than a good Wi-Fi signal. Save a bee, plant a tree. Let's grow. The Gamescom Forest.
From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, Let's Plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered.
If you're not following IGN on social media, what are you waiting for? We're constantly updating our feeds to bring you the latest news, gameplay, custom original content, the best user-generated videos and art, memes, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation throughout the year. Follow IGN on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Snapchat.
Gamescom 2021 is presented by USAA Insurance.
Hello and welcome back to Podcast Beyond, part of this year's Gamescom studio show right here at IGN. Right now, we're talking about the big games coming to PlayStation soon and soon-ish, so let's get right into it, starting with the brand new announced Midnight Suns. It's sort of Marvel and XCOM coming together at last. Jonathan, you're excited for it. Lucy, you're excited for it. I'm excited for it. Max, you're the biggest comic book fan on this panel. What's the story of this game?
So this is an all new story, which is kind of a relief because if you're, there's a lot of Marvel baggage to unpack, and this is kind of a reinterpretation of a team that I believe debuted in the early 90s, and basically from the sound of it, the universe has kind of gone to hell, and so all of Earth's mightiest heroes, both the Avengers and the other ones, have sort of teamed up to to fight the bad demons and the bad guys. And so you've got kind of the occult side of Marvel. So you've got Doctor Strange and Blade and Ghost Rider. And then there's also, like Wolverine and Iron Man and all them. And so the whole, it's a whole new kind of unique universe. They've created this, original setup, which I'm excited about. For Axis, obviously XCOM, a lot of comparisons can be drawn, but they've kind of stressed that this is, less about making you feel powerless like you do in XCOM, and a little bit more about being a superhero. I don't think they're messing with the permadeath so much. It's they want to have a style that makes it immediately recognizable as its own thing, which I don't think means specifically everyone's going to be wearing yellow and black armor with runes on it. But there's going to be like costume changes. The thing I'm most excited about here is that in addition to sort of turn-based tactical RPG gameplay, there's also going to be like a social hub, which they kind of liken to like the Normandy in Mass Effect, where you basically can go back and you can have not romantic relationships, but like friendships with different Marvel heroes, which will be interesting because you're playing as an original character who's the Hunter, or I guess not the Huntress, that's a DC character, but you can kind of create your own character, your own gender and everything, and kind of determine how you interact with these different characters at your little home base. But it's uncharted territory. Like it's completely its own infinite Earth or whatever. It's its own timeline, and I don't know. Firaxis their XCOM speaks for itself. They know what they're doing over there. They make some really cool games, and from the sound of it, like the people at Marvel Games are all big like XCOM dorks, and they basically were like pretty stoked about working with Firaxis, and they know what the studio is capable of. So it doesn't sound like it's going to be one of those situations where you've got an IP holder forcing a studio to get out of their comfort zone. It sounds like they're kind of like play to your strengths, do your thing, take our characters and have fun with it.
We had the devs on our show, on our Gamescom show just the other day, and they were talking about how Marvel came to them with the pitch because they were XCOM fans. I think that's super cool. It's really awesome to see Marvel Games sort of like branching out in so many different directions. We're getting so many movies and TV shows, action figures and all that. Comic books obviously still forever, but to see like so many different games in so many different genres happening at the same time is super, super cool.
I just want to add that I love the aesthetic of this. I love that this is like a 90s trading card aesthetic. Remember those like gorgeous like foil trading cards that Marvel released during the 90s? Every single shot of this trailer is like one of those cards.
Marvel Masteries,
I love how they've completely placed it in a very kind of 90s aesthetic, and I'm just so here for this game.
You know what's cool about this is that it looks nothing like the MCU. Like it's not even going anywhere near it. It's totally doing its own thing. They didn't try to make Doctor Strange look like Benedict Cumberbatch. They didn't try to make Wolverine look like Hugh Jackman. It looks like its own game, which I'm very relieved about, not to throw shade at any other Marvel games.
No, totally. I want to talk about Saints Row because I'm a huge fan of the series. I know a bunch of you are. It's been almost nine years since we've gotten a new GTA game. The last one we got was GTA 5, out again this fall, I believe. But in the meantime, Saints Row was a franchise that sort of like ran in parallel with GTA for a very long time. It had its ups and downs. It started out kind of a little sort of grounded a little bit, and then got totally over the top, and then went into superhero stuff. There was a thing in one of the games where you were the president, you had to like blow up. It got crazy. But Saints Row is back. We got a brand new sort of like tone piece teaser, followed up by some gameplay on Jeff Keighley's Opening Night Live. I'm really excited for this game. I feel like it's obviously a lot more colorful and a little bit more modernized than I think some people were expecting. But this is going to be the biggest city we've seen so far in the franchise. It's obviously over the top. There's 3 different sort of gangs running in perpetuity right now. And you've got dune buggies, sci-fi weapons, explosions. You can create your own character. I'm really excited to see Saints Row coming back. I miss open world games like this. How do you all feel about this?
Jury's kind of still out. I'm very happy we're getting new Saints Row. This aesthetic is obviously a little bit divisive for a lot of people, but I'm willing to give it a chance because the thing with Saints Row has always been you create your own character. Like you can go completely nuts, and they've said this is going to be the most robust character creator you have yet. I'm curious if that's going to extend to like what your gang looks like. I see people like talking about how you're basically playing as like a bunch of kids, Maybe it's the fact that we've all gotten a lot older since the last Saints Row game came out, but I don't know. It's a new setting. It's nice to not revisit that same Steelport map, whether it's like the Matrix or the superhero version or whatever. But I don't know. I'm interested to see what they do with it. Like I played Saints Row 3 as like a very overweight Adam Sessler with like an M41 pulse rifle from Aliens. So like what they show in the trailer is usually not indicative of what your experience is going to be. And it's, they said there's character creation and there's VTOL jets and there's crazy weapons. And like, that sounds like they're, it's not Agents of Mayhem. Like it's not a hero shooter. It's a Saints Row game. It's a big open world Saints Row game. Yeah. So that's, that's what I want to hear more of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this trailer was extremely polished, which is great for a trailer, and I understand the sort of thinking behind that. But when I'm sort of picturing Saints Row, it's not just about like cars flying through the air. It's about like the more ridiculous things you can do with your characters and and the world itself. So you know, this was a great little taste, but I am definitely keen to see more. I'm very pleased this is happening. I love, as Max mentioned, I too love open world games that are like this, where the whole idea is just to sort of wreak havoc. But yeah, I just kind of want to see a little bit more of the stupidity behind it, because that's what sort of weaves through Saints Row's veins for me.
I agree. Yeah, it was always about magnifying the sort of goofiest parts of GTA with, you know, UFOs and jetpacks and stuff like that. And GTA has really kind of moved away from a lot of that. Obviously, they roll a lot of that into GTA Online. But I saw people comparing this to Watch Dogs 2 in a negative way. And I personally, like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people loved Watch Dogs 2. I think that sort of vibrant, you know, fun sort of street gang approach that also still murders stuff is a cool aesthetic. But anyway, speaking of street gangs, I do want to move on to one of the most vicious street gangs in the history of pop culture. That's the Ninja Turtles. And they are coming back with TMNT Shredder's Revenge. And we got a really cool thing that happened yesterday where Dotemu, who's developing this game, they did the recent Streets of Rage games, they added April as a playable character who now literally drops the mic and whips her camera around to beat up people. Jonathan, are you excited for this game?
Yeah, totally. I am definitely, I would say, it's probably easy to say I'm not the biggest TMNT fan on the cast right now. I feel like it's hard to take that crown, but I really grew up with the arcade game being like such a staple of my life. And so to have a game like this from such a pedigree as them, like I loved what they did with Streets of Rage 4. I'm really excited about this, and as a kid who had a stupidly huge crush on April O'Neil, awesome. I'm glad she's in the game, and I will definitely play as her in this version of it. I'm really excited, and everything we've seen from it just seems like they know how to nail the style and the feel and what people are looking for in an arcade revival like this. So I can't wait to play it.
Yeah, to me, it feels like we might, this might lead to DLC with, like, you know, Casey Jones and maybe some other characters, maybe Splinter. But yeah, this game's still a little ways away, but it's just so gorgeous. And it's, you know, totally hitting the right notes for me in terms of like an old school arcade style beat 'em up. The pixel art's amazing. There was something in the last trailer where like there's all the foot soldiers are like typing on computers and the turtles run in and they just jump out of their cubicle desks and start fighting. That stuff's awesome. Lastly, I did want to move on to Lego Star Wars, which is like one of the biggest games for our audience. Every new trailer for that game does 500,000 views. People are so excited for this game. We still do not have a release date for Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. Spring 2022 is the closest we're getting right now, but no solid date yet. But we did get to see some new footage. There's a ton of new characters. The game looks gorgeous. The lighting is awesome. I can't wait for this.
Yeah, I've been such a fan of the Lego games since the start, which was Star Wars. And so, like, I totally trust in TT Games. I assume they must be doing something huge with this because, like, no disrespect to them, but they were able to churn out Lego games like pretty regularly, sort of like 1 to 2 a year at least minimum. And this has been, I feel like, the longest development cycle we've seen for one, but it also feels like the most ambitious they've ever done. Like they're trying to make the combat a little bit more tactile, I guess. They've switched where the camera angle is. It seems to be a little bit more complex. It's more open world in terms of like choosing where you get to go. And obviously it's encompassing 9 movies worth of canon, so it's not a small game by any means. But yeah, I'm more than willing to let them take their time. It's just we've now known about it for it'll be close to 2 years by the time it comes out, if it comes out in the spring. So I can't wait to see what they've done with this one. They know how to make a great Lego game, and it feels like they're really upping the ante here.
Yep. Well, we are going to take a very quick break, but when we come back, we're actually saying goodbye to Jonathan and Lucy and hello to IGN's Mitchell Saltzman, who got a brand new behind closed doors look at a small game called Elden Ring. And obviously, Max and I have a ton of questions for him, so we're going to pick his brain about Elden Ring in just a minute. We will be back with We'll be back with more Podcast Beyond and Elden Ring right after this. Beyond, back.
Gamescom 2021 is presented by Pluto TV, free to watch.
breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, Let's Plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered.
Competition brings out the best in all of us. Well, mostly.
Oh, that's a controller break.
That's unfortunate. Welcome to IGN Compete, where we bring you the stories behind the esports headlines.
World champions!
From the triumphs
Daryl takes the game
to the hardships
It's not happy.
to the miracle moments that will go down in history.
I just can't believe it!
It's crazy. It's all here on IGN Compete.
God, I'm in disbelief!
In a world with non-stop news about Marvel, DC, Star Wars, you need a show with accurate reporting, hard-hitting commentary, and
me, Akeem Lawanson, host of IGN's news show, The Fix Entertainment. Whether it's the latest superhero scoop, film fiasco, or anime announcement, I'll be here covering all the breaking movie, TV, and streaming news that matters most to you. Make sure to catch The Fix Entertainment on IGN for your fix of entertainment news. Let's drop it. Gamescom 2021 is presented by USAA Insurance.
This is Podcast Beyond at Gamescom Studio Live. I'm Brian Altano along with Max Scoville and Mitchell Saltzman, who just got a behind-the-scenes look at the upcoming FromSoft game, Elden Ring, one of the most anticipated games of 2022. Dare I say all time. Mitchell, first of all, we're extremely jealous of you.
I'm sorry.
I get that out of the way. But it's good to see you. So you saw some brand new stuff from Elden Ring. You saw somebody playing the game in front of you. It's real. It exists. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So I actually have been fortunate enough to kind of get two experiences with Elden Ring. The first time I got to talk with Hidetaka Miyazaki and just pick his brain about the game. And this time I was given basically a 15-minute presentation and then a 15-minute kind of curated gameplay walkthrough of different sections of the game. And yeah, it really is. They keep saying that it's the culmination of everything that they've learned over the course of the Dark Souls games, Sekiro, Bloodborne, etc. World that also has these are kind of like the more traditional Dark Souls guided areas where there's a lot of branching paths, there's a lot of different places you can.
I'm gonna have to end the stream. Sorry guys, but I'm too upset, so this really upset me. I'm sorry. I really wanted to do this and everything. I didn't get nothing. I'm gonna have to end. Bye.